x-dream-Fabrik. What is it about? It is our solution, the solution of X-Dream Group for the media industry and for any other organization that deals with higher amounts of media. My name is Stefan Pfütze. I do an introduction into our newest baby, x-dream-Fabrik. As said, it's an end-to-end solution and it tries to cover quite a wide range of business workflows. Means lots of steps that all add up to one enterprise business workflow. And for that reason, x-dream-Fabrik is based on modules. There are modules for content creation, content management, and content publishing. What's the concept of x-dream-Fabrik? The idea is to have an all-in-one ecosystem that helps you, as said, to research for content, to upload, ingest, record, exchange content with others, do the post-production, plan your playout and your publishing, and then run the playout and the publishing itself. Files can be delivered to video-on-demand archives as well as to websites and other publication targets. But here we do not stop. We look after reporting and monitoring of your success. There are various engines used to do so. For instance, for recording and playout, that's obvious, also for transcoding, but AI stuff for transcriptions and translations and way more. It is an easy to use approach that we try to follow with a very intuitive drag and drop based user interface. And we try to aim for a reduced look and feel so that everyone who sits in front of it gets his head around immediately. And we try to implement fast and efficient business processes. So from that reason, it is all from one hand, because that allows us not only to have an integrated user interface, but also to have a very integrated, very efficient engine below the surface. And obviously, we come with a pre-configured out-of-the-box experience. When your business grows, no problem at all. We can grow with your business because it's a very scalable and also fully redundant architecture that is all based on microservices. And what holds things together is an enterprise service bus. This picture here shows us the user interface. It's just a part of it, but it visualizes one of the solution products. In this particular case, let me look, it is for ingesting, post-production, and for managing the content. Now, what are the use cases? One use case, as said earlier, is a 24/7 playout, and that can be used at loop channels or special interest group channels. It can be also used by full program channels, regional TV stations, business TV stations, something like that. And it can be used for very classical on-air or stream-based playout. We are not limited. Another use case is in news production. And I also want to name news agencies business. So we will have modules, not yet released, for researching for news and for the production and the publication of news. And we aim to do that cross-media. For TV, for radio, for web, and for social media. Another kind of use case that is already fully supported is the event production. Typically, we see that in sports, sometimes in news, music, entertainment, but also conferences or trade shows. What are the target customers? x-dream-Fabrik is made for broadcasters. I think that's obvious. And as I mentioned it earlier, for instance, for regional broadcasters, but also for national broadcasters, for news channels, and for this special interest type of channels. And obviously, the event production modules are made for event providers. So sports, news, entertainment, music, theater, many, many possibilities. On the other hand, our target customers are media groups. So the ones that want to run event channels aside of their traditional 24/7 playouts, like, and now hear all the details about this news or the press conference on our web channel, what we often hear at television, or see the complete sports event or with multiple camera angles on our web platform, follow the music event, the game show or whatsoever, the interview on web, and for sure also for society purposes. Then, as mentioned, media groups run these special interest channels, like a channel that they produce for a cable operator, for a mobile operator, in addition to their standard portfolio, or simply to make use of content that is in their archives. And media groups might have kind of business TV, quarterly numbers announcements, things like that. Network operators are also a type of our target customers. Here we especially look into fast channels and again into the special interest channels, what is very close to each other nowadays. Now, what's the solution architecture of x-dream-Fabrik? As said, in the middle we have an enterprise service bus that glues all the microservices together. And such services are connecting with built-in or third-party applications that are performing actions. For instance, there's the upload and recording of material, and on the very other hand, there is the playout and the publication to social media, to websites, and so on. And in the middle, we have AI for speech-to-text, so transcriptions, translations, face recognitions, and more. And traditional engines like transcoding, quality control, file transport, but on the other hand, also our archiving system and our post-production system. On top of these engines, I call it the engine room, we have the enterprise service bus, and on top of that enterprise service bus, we run workflows. Workflows across all these engines, driven by services. And such a service is again driven by human interaction, and that happens in the panels that are related to a certain module. The user, for instance, does a drag and drop from one panel to the other, that is triggering a workflow. Or he is creating a playout schedule and he wants to save it, that is creating not a workflow, it's just saving data. But when he sends that schedule to the playout, then he drives a workflow that sends the schedule plus all the material to the playout engine. I think you got the idea. Now, where do we stand with x-dream-Fabrik? What is the release schedule? What is the roadmap? The first release happened in 2022, and that was our Exchange module. Exchange is a tool to interact in between a broadcaster and a post-production facility to send files and work orders. In April 23, we have made our upload and archive modules available, and in June, the scheduling and the playout. A little bit later, in July, we've added our monitoring. And then in August, in preparation to IBC, we have published our Produce. Produce is the post-production module. Since this time, we have a workflow from upload via post-production, via scheduling, to playout and monitoring. Then, in fall time of 23, we've been adding publication to websites, and then in the meantime also to social media. That happened in February 24, where we firstly started with a deliver module, that is to send content to a VOD portal. And then later on in May, we've been adding publication, for instance, to YouTube. In the middle, we've created a recording module that was in March 24, that is good for recording of streams. And now, in the summertime 24, we are working on adding more publication targets for our publish module. This is especially X, former Twitter, Facebook, and similar. And on the other hand, we are working on editorial modules to create a story that is being published onto that social media and to the website. Because this very moment we are limited to publishing of assets. Now, starting in fall time of this year, 24, we will add more functionality to the storytelling modules, and we will then move towards running live shows from the storytelling modules. Details will be shared once it's time to do so. Thank you so much for watching this video and this introduction about x-dream-Fabrik. We are super proud about it. Please make your way to our website x-dream-Fabrik.com. There you will get more information, more ideas, and especially an insight into the various solution products that we have created from all these modules. And beside this, you will also find more videos where we explain what this particular functions are all about, what these solution products are all about. Thank you so much.